Hi, I'm Jeannine Yoder, the creator and founder of the most personal, high-touch, and soulful life coach training program for women, Mentor Masterclass. There are four main questions every human who's considering life coaching as a career path starts out with. What does a life coach do? Do you need training to become a life coach? How long does it take? How much do life coaches make? I want to go over today in this podcast how to get started as a successful life coach and go over absolutely everything you need to know and clear action steps you can take today, starting with these four main questions. I want to tell you that I used to believe the only way I was going to be successful in life was to push myself and figure everything out alone. And nobody around me in my personal life was striving for anything better. My family were all drug addicts. My girlfriends, who were all actresses and musical theater performers, that was my former life, were all emotionally struggling, competitive, and very broke. I felt like a lone warrior, and I wore my ability to be strong and independent and capable like the greatest badge of honor of my life. I prided myself on being the one who had it all together in my family and who gave the best advice to my broken friends. But deep inside, I was lonely, and I was afraid, and I was tired. Really tired. And I had such big dreams at the same time, and I was driven toward them beside the exhaustion because nothing in me was willing to lay down or give up. This was all a trauma response to growing up in an environment where my needs couldn't be met and where I had to figure out how to survive. And if you've ever felt this way, I want to meet you there in this moment today to provide you with a different opportunity as you go into considering whether or not life coaching is a career for you. If you have what it takes to become a life coach, what does it actually take? And as you start to feel into that, I'd like to meet you in a moment where you no longer have to do it alone. And I want you to know that there are four distinct, easy to learn, and repeatable steps that are proven to help make you a highly respected, highly appreciated, well-paid, socially connected, very deeply supported, and purpose-driven life coach. And did you know that once you learn how to take these four steps, sprinkling in a new devotion to self-care and sisterhood, you'll actually be able to use them as a unique process to become a life coach that I teach women how to do so that you're not starting in some masculine structure that burns you out or becomes another career you just can't stand, but instead learning how to run your own business, a business that utilizes your unique strengths and is a beautiful expression of why you are alive and so important to our world right now. Now, if you've already had some form of coach training, these four steps will also help you learn to build your self-confidence, grow your skills as a master coach, and nurture your coaching business and brand. And in other words, once you learn what these four steps are, you can use them to focus inward on yourself and explore what it means to become a coach. And you'll learn what it feels like to allow a new level of support and love into your life in the process. You'll also be able to take these four steps and turn the focus outward onto your business and use the very same steps to create a thriving coaching practice that lets you share your gifts while being of service to your clients. Now, every powerful woman faces a moment in life when, in order to reach the next level of success and your purpose-driven contribution, you have to open your heart to receive support. And it all starts with you personally going through daily acts of self-empowerment and self-discovery. So I'm going to take you through the discovery of these four main questions in this quick podcast today. I'm going to answer, what does a life coach do? Do you need training to become a life coach? How long does it take to become a life coach? And how much do life coaches make? And that's just the surface level. You might feel a deeper calling knowing that you've found this audio and this podcast because you're thinking about becoming a life coach and you're looking for answers to help you decide whether or not coaching is for you. I'm going to also give you an opportunity to learn the 4 steps I just talked to you about and how they can help you explore coaching in a first-hand way to see if it's something you feel called to do. So if you just want a little bit more than the answer to these questions that I'm about to go into, and maybe you're here because you really want to find a way to grow your business and your client base from a place of integrity and soulful alignment, then I want you to learn these 4 steps and get access to them now. And the good news is that you found me. You're here in the right place listening to this podcast. And you can go to my website, www.mentormasterclass.com, and opt in for an actual experience, 7 days of soulful practices to help you become a life coach. So rather than just listening to the answer to these questions, you'll actually experience for yourself whether you're ready to start a career as a coach. It's a free training. It's a video series training that includes worksheets and a daily action that you can take for the next 7 days. And I want to encourage you now or after you receive the answers to some of these questions, if it's resonating with you, to go to www.mentormasterclass.com, sign up for the free week of self-discovery, take yourself through a self-care practice, and learn the 4 distinct steps that it takes to build a soulful, thriving business as a life coach. And let's let that segue us right into, if you're here and you don't know what a life coach does, what does a life coach do? Let's start there. So if you're thinking about becoming a coach, you probably want to know exactly what coaches do. What does a coach offer in the world? What do they actually do with what we call coaching clients? And what does life look like for the schedule of someone who works from home and runs their own business and is in charge of their own success? So a life coach really is an entrepreneur, someone who is innovating life strategy and a business that works for them. And every coach will be unique in their own regard. And if you have the right training, you'll also know that you should never copy someone else's business model, but there's a unique business model that works for you. This is what I teach women in my life coach training program, Mentor Masterclass. So life coaches work with their clients to help them achieve goals. They help them to overcome things that are keeping them stuck or playing small, or problems and challenges that are arriving along the way to achieve those goals. And they help people to make these life-changing shifts and adjustments in their patterns, in their habits, in their behavior, in their belief system to live a better life and have a better potential at achieving their goal now. And a life coach works with a client more like a partner, knowing that the client is actually the one that has the answers to create the changes that they seek. And coaches are trained, if trained appropriately, to not be an answer man, to not give advice, but instead to be a partner along the road of bringing a person through to a potential that already exists inside of them. A clarity that can come through conversation and high-level technique with listening and communication skills and planning skills. And knowing that this client can be one person, it can be a group of like-minded people that you're coaching, or the topic or coaching niche can range from anything from life balance to restructuring a Fortune 500 company, and there's even coaching in companies. So a life coach really acts like a mirror, and in my opinion, can be like a blast from your future. It's the life coach's job to see your full potential and make sure that you're clear about your vision for your life, what you want, what's preventing you from getting it, what's holding you back, what you're capable of, and how to take action and move forward. A life coach really holds their client to putting a plan of action in place, and they walk right beside their client, supporting them in going after it and working through things as they arrive so that they're not doing it alone. And if you have the gift of looking at and seeing the highest good and the greatest potential for people as well as in life. And if you're passionate about how the mind and the soul and the body and the spirit all work, either one of those categories or all of them, how they work together, if you're passionate about techniques for getting all parts of yourself on board and healing and getting clear and taking action, then you're probably born to be a life coach. I would dare to say that it might even be your purpose in this life. And through specific strategies and skills, the coach helps you define yourself and create the life that you envision. And coaches really help you focus. They provide direction. They are going to encourage you and walk beside you, and they're going to call you out, and they're going to do what it takes to get you up off your ass and into action, and to help you feel naturally driven and motivated. They're going to celebrate your accomplishments with you. And life coaches help you create a plan, really getting detailed in reverse engineering exactly each little baby step that it takes to follow through to complete something, and holding you to that completion no matter what. And what they're going to use is their skills in being able to hold space. And what hold space means is to create a safe container, a space and time for conversation, for deep diving, for creating clarity, for planning, to watch you and see, to listen really closely and make you go deeper, to ask you questions that allow you to get clear and see your own potential or your own block. A life coach is skilled at asking really unique, potent, powerful questions, getting you to listen and reflect back to you what you're seeing, and then challenging you and motivating you to, with the information that unfolds in that space that you've created together, use that as information to become unblocked, unstuck, more confident, and more driven. And life coaching is really based on the principle that the client has the inner resources to decide and to go after what their goals are. That everything is based in coaching on being in the present moment, knowing what you want to achieve in your life and what's preventing you in your intrinsic and extrinsic world currently from going after it. And highly skilled coaches are really trained to hold a space that goes beyond just asking you questions, but also allows you to go through an identity transformation, to become who you need to be, to live a different life that's more fulfilling. And some coaches are even trained in things like family constellation healing and past trauma as a means for moving through the blocks that are current fully without powering through. Now, it's different from therapy in that there is no certified, no national recognized certification for becoming a coach, which I'll answer and talk more about in a future podcast episode, because I know that's another big question that we will get to later. But really, if you're going to a trained coach, you're still going to be working with the past as a means to move forward, whereas therapy is about digging to, reliving the past, redefining the past. Coaching is forward driven. And coaches work with all types of people who are full of direction and want to really up-level their life, people who are feeling challenged and need a coach to help them get out of feeling stuck in the mud or rock bottom. And really, as coaches, what we're looking at is, how does this happen? And how does this happen in coaching sessions? Where and how do coaches really connect with their clients? So I want to share with you exactly what a life coach does in the form of how they meet with their clients, so that's clear to you too as you're considering making this career. So let's kind of dive into the different ways that coaches connect with clients, find their clients, and what a sample day of a life coach looks like. I'll take you through one of my personal graduates and alumni of my signature life coach training program, Mentor Masterclass. So first and foremost, a lot of coaches meet with their clients over the telephone. This is the biggest way, and it's one of the most amazing parts about becoming a coach, because a lot of people pursue life coaching as a career when they want location freedom and time freedom, meaning there's no commute to work and you can be anywhere in the world and at any time of day and work with someone anywhere in the world at any time of day, depending on your ability to be awake at that time, because most coaching happens over the phone. So a lot of individual life coaching that takes place in the coaching industry just takes place on conference lines or cell to cell or on some different software, which I can also talk to you later about in a future podcast episode. And the benefits, really, it has been proven effective by coaches for decades now, because telephone coaching allows you to work with clients in any location of the globe as long as the time zones are manageable by you and your client. And the benefit is that you can find a coach that really matches your unique desire and goals and interests without feeling like you have to find someone in your area that's 10 miles away. And it also is an amazing part of not having a lot of there's no reason to ever go in debt when starting a coaching business, because there's very little investment in things up front. You don't need rent, you don't need equipment, it's not a brick and mortar business. You can do it from home. And also you save time and money on travel. So there's benefit to both you as the coach starting the career and also to your client, and that they don't have to, it doesn't take a huge commitment to be able to call in. They can call in on their lunch break from work. They can call in anytime. They don't have to waste time traveling, waste money on gas. And most coaching sessions range from 45 to 90 minutes as a standard coaching session. The other way to coach, or how to, what a life coach does, is they may meet face-to-face with their clients. You may just like to see your clients, or you may not want to work from home. That might be boring or redundant, or you're an extrovert, so you want to get out. You might then have a meeting place somewhere. You might rent a space, or you might have people actually come into your home, or you might have a designated office or a face-to-face coaching space in your home. So in some cases, there are coaches who like to meet in person, and you don't actually, in order to meet face-to-face coaching, you could meet now on Skype, or a common conference line that's used is something called Zoom. And this is where you can be over video. So you can see your client's face and still be physically interacting, which is beneficial because there are some deeper coaching techniques that you'll be taught if you have life coach training that allow you to really dive into physical movement and body as a resource for your coaching to take it deeper. So some coaches do like to work face-to-face. And this can all be based on the preference of you or your client or the type of coaching that you're delivering. And you may do a little bit of both. Like if you're doing corporate coaching, you might deliver that face-to-face by showing up to that workplace. But most often when you're performing for businesses, it's going to be done face-to-face. But some people also, one-on-one clients, just want a face-to-face meeting. So like I said, you may decide to have clients in your home, or you may do video conferencing so that you can work this way. Another great thing about the coaching industry and becoming a coach is that you get to decide how you want to work, and all coaches decide to do this in different ways. I personally, when I'm working one-on-one with clients, I like to work with them just over the phone because I move a lot, I walk a lot, I take a lot of notes, and I get to deeper dive just by working on the phone. When I lead my group coaching calls, they're all on Zoom conferencing over a video. And then I like to lead in-person retreats where I get to be in a deep dive with people in person. So I personally do a little bit of all three: face-to-face coaching, virtual coaching over the telephone, video conferencing, and in-person connection on retreat. So I want to talk to you about a sample schedule of one of my students. This is a sample schedule from my student Emily. She is a Mentor Masterclass certified life coach and graduate, and she also joined my mastermind, the Sisterhood Mastermind. I work with her on her business for a few years, and we chatted through a sample schedule that I'm going to share with you. So this is what a day in a life coaching career could look like and what a life coach actually does. So Emily wakes up at 8 a.m. She does a morning ritual, which is about taking care of herself first. She has and sets a clear focus and intention for her day to present to what she's going to be presenting during that day, how she's going to be present during that day, and also sets a tone for gratitude for the life that she's created, because as you're going to feel it's a pretty awesome life, creating this kind of freedom in your life. And the theme for this particular day that we're walking through is that today is an all-in business day. The other thing is, when you are a life coach, you get to make your own hours. So you don't have to work a 40-hour week. And in fact, I find it doesn't take 40 hours for any of us to truly be productive or make a lot of money. That's an old masculine standard. And I work with women to create shorter work weeks that are more impactful, so that your whole life is not about just your coaching business, but instead it's about living more of a life, so that your whole life isn't about work. Although what I found is that most people don't identify their life coaching careers as hard work. It's what they would do in their free time anyway. So like I said, today is a business day, which means this is more of an all-in day, which we thought would be a better example to use for this episode, because it shows you what you do on a working day as a coach and what exactly a life coach does. So today's the business day. Tomorrow would be a creative day for implementing new ideas and creations in her work. Midweek, she takes the day off to be with her lover. The end of the week is for interviews and another full client day, taking clients to close the week that will mimic the schedule I'm about to walk you through. And so she has 2 new potential clients that learned about her from a podcast she was featured on as a speaker. So she starts the day by emailing them after her morning ritual to schedule a free discovery session. And what a discovery session is when you offer someone new interested in your work an opportunity to experience what coaching is like with you, and to offer them a free session as a means to get them interested in your paid coaching packages and learning how to uniquely work with her as a coach and what it feels like to experience her coaching techniques and training. So then at 9 a.m., Emily goes to yoga. She showers and has breakfast with a fellow coach that she met in Mentor Masterclass and has become soul sisters with and business collaborators with. They're going to lead a retreat together in the fall, and they're meeting to look at potential venues to connect and have breakfast. Then at 11 a.m., Emily starts her 3 clients' appointments back to back. Each appointment with each client is over the phone or video, and they're an hour long, and she allows 30 minutes breaks between each session so that she can recap on the session that they just had, make closing notes, reflect on the previous session with the upcoming client. She gets to move her body and prepare for the next session a little bit. And then she also takes a 1-hour break between the calls, and during that time she creates an Instagram story that she posts about the results that she's getting for her clients, so that she's incorporating some authentic marketing into her day and revealing that she's doing coaching. She still has two open spaces, using social media as a platform to share and market and gain interest in her ability to coach and her packages that she has. She makes a few posts on Facebook and on Snapchat, and then she comments on some other people's posts and responds to potential clients on her social media. And that takes us through to 4:30 p.m., where Emily has a free 30-minute discovery call with a potential client that she met at yoga last week and set up for a discovery call. After the free session, the woman decided to sign up with her as an official paid coaching client because Emily shared what coaching package she has, which usually is a consistent way of working with you. So that may be like 6 sessions that are completed over a 3-month period and that either are a pay in full investment or a payment plan. And so she is going to begin this new client and start with her working next week during one of her 2 designated coaching days, one early in the week and later. And Emily emails her virtual assistant, who is someone that supports her in her business for $15 an hour, to prepare and send out her new client package and forms to her new client. And then at 5:30 p.m., Emily meditates to recap the day and reviews her intention and plans for tomorrow. And at 7 p.m. later that night, Emily attends a local sister circle gathering for women entrepreneurs. And afterwards, she makes a list of people to follow up with the next day who are either potential clients or who are potential collaborators or who are just supportive sisters in her work that she can stay connected to and maybe co-work with in the future since she works from home. So that is a sample schedule of one of my students who is just about a year into her coaching practice. After graduating Mentor Masterclass, this is what her life and business looks like. Whereas when we first met, she was working a 9-to-5 job, had no time freedom, was making less salary than she is now in her own career. And that gives you an idea of exactly what a day in the life of a life coach would look like. Which brings us to our next question. Do you need training to become a life coach? Professionals who work as life coaches really encourage people to grow in their careers and in their purpose in their lives. And what you really want to look at is training allows you to deepen into all the layers of coaching, and you do need training to become a coach. There's no set academic program for life coaches, but you want to be deeply trained in communication, in counseling, and in teaching, and in the techniques of the mind, soul, body, and spirit, because you are not going to be confident to hold space and call in paying clients if you don't feel confident about your skills. And these are not skills of just giving advice or being a great listener, but really you want special training that focuses on communication technique and goal setting and developing the client-coach relationship. And there's all different kinds of ways to do this. You can attend weekend workshops, or really the best way is to enroll in a life coach training school. So I'll share with you how the training works for my signature life coach training program and what kind of training I believe that you need. First of all, you need to walk your talk. To make it through the first stage of learning in anything that you learn, you need to understand that you have unconscious incompetence. And what that means is you don't know what you don't know about coaching yet. And going through this stage of walking your talk, where you take high-level, mastery-level coaching techniques and learn them in a container where you have a coach and a trainer and mentor, what happens is you're going to learn exactly where you have your own blocks and how life coaching techniques take you through a self-discovery and life-changing process. As a result, your life is going to change. You're going to become more confident. You are going to really recognize that you can't help others when you're coming from a place of depletion or neglect. So in week 1 of every month of Mentor Masterclass, I use the theme of reflect and restore and take my students through walking their talks so they go through this first stage of unconscious incompetence to recognize what they need to know to become a powerful coach and to use the techniques on themselves first. And then in week 2 of every month of the training program, we get to the second stage of learning, which is conscious incompetence. This is where you become aware of what you don't know and you start actively learning it. So this is where I teach you how to be in a leadership role and start coaching, where you step into the role of the coach, you practice these techniques with a partner, you step into a coaching session and you start to see where your gifts and talents are, and you start to learn how to take them out of a workbook and into an actual coaching session. And then in week 4 in week 3, this is where I start to teach you actually how to discover your unique niche as a coach. And this is where training comes in really valuable. If you don't know what makes you special as a coach, you won't stand out in this marketplace of the coaching industry. Training helps you learn what you're uniquely gifted at as a coach, since there's many different types of coaching. There are general life coaches, there are life balance coaches, there are health coaches, there are executive coaches, there are finance coaches, there are relationship coaches, there are soul coaches, there are intuitive coaches and empath coaches. There are accountability coaches, there are business coaches. So really, coaches work with all types of clients, from people who know what they want to and are specifically looking for something, to those who are really wanting some more general coaching. And so in week 3, I help my clients to focus on taking what you've accomplished and walking your talk and stepping into the role of the coach, and then learning how to get paying clients, going through the intricacies of what it takes to market yourself as a coach, know who you are as a coach, discover your unique zone of genius as a coach, and verify and validate what your unique purpose is in the coaching industry based off all the skills that you've learned where you're really excelling. And then finally in week 4, we focus on the unconscious competence part. This is where my students get to this place where they're naturally, because of having a training, getting into their groove and just unconsciously knowing what to do now as a coach. And the 4th week is about embracing your feminine power as a woman. And this is why I work with women coaches, because you have a unique gift with your intuition, with your body and your cycle. Your period each month syncs with the moon. It gives you different energy levels and ways of running your business. And this theme coincides with really having physical energy to start your desire, when you can kick in and really start to organize your business and market your business. And it's designed to help you build your online business and master your marketing outreach to ideal clients. It's all about maximizing your power to expand with a global mission and online success. And this is about embracing your feminine power and reinvesting your energy into your coaching practice, and building a model that really works for your life first, so that you can embrace what it's like to follow your calling. And this is how I work with the women in Mentor Masterclass. And now the themes and the training, I teach my students goal setting and health coaching, relationship coaching, inner and outer game techniques, massive action techniques for getting your client into massive action, career coaching and how to coach entrepreneurs, identity changes and accountability coaching, so you know how to walk people through shifting who they have decided that they are and doing that from a conscious place to become who they need to be. I walk you through creating your own coaching model and your unique coaching model that has a process and a system that you take clients through. Metaphor and archetype coaching, which is how to use language and positioning to get your clients out of unstuck patterns and see new ways of being or answering questions or solving problems. The keys to motivation, life purpose techniques, time management and productivity, and power and leadership coaching. On top of that, there's a prospecting workbook that teaches my clients everything about a new client intake process, how to have an application and assessment to bring your clients in, training to really understand leadership skills, training to know what to do before a session, during a session, and after a session. Training around what a strategy coaching session will look like, what exact questions to ask, conversation models to use, how to follow up with clients post-session. I go into leadership skills, debate leadership, managerial leadership, emotional leadership for yourself in your business and with your clients. Emotional leadership, guru leadership, thought leadership, authoritative leadership, all of these leadership skills. I take you through inner and outer game techniques, knowing why You do your work seeing it the way it really is, the way you want it to be, and making it happen. How to create prospect lists to get paying clients, free clients, business partnerships, networking. These are all the most vital things that I believe the training you need to become a life coach, to be successful in this career. Knowing how to prospect, what to do during a prospecting session, the order of prospecting, the rules of how to do it and follow up and what to say, how to build rapport, actual coaching skills for inside your session, moving from free session coaching skills to paid coaching skills and the difference between those. Knowing how to name your business and your products and your services and price them, using power words to really get clear about your viewpoint and who you are and your approach and your niche, naming your programs and different ways for doing that. Also in your training is really knowing all the business side of your LLC, your taxes, and your income setup and structures. Also creating a clear tagline and knowing what a niche is. Knowing what you want from your business and how you're going to run your business behind the scenes, maybe lead a team at some point if you might have a virtual assistant or marketing support or copywriting support or support building your website, learning what your essential business power is. Creating your client avatar and learning how to promote yourself effectively is really important for coach training from the whole business side. Once you're a mastery level, confident, empowered coach, then you're ready to get into the 4 traits of master coaches. Coach teaching you and training you in the program how to get outstanding results for your clients, effortless performance, creating freedom for yourself and for them, and your identity as a coach, and learning the 4 stages of master coaching and exactly what coaching is. And then some more things like really getting through accountability coaching and finding your core coaching business asset, which leads to you being able to scale your business. And then inevitability thinking, really what does it look like to go through the coaching skills and get to not just one-on-one coaching, but group coaching and leading retreats and potentially creating products and services beyond one-on-one coaching or group coaching or in-person coaching, learning how to create products, how to be a speaker, and the various different types of coaching calls that you can lead. I teach you copywriting skills and tagline writing skills for getting your copy to stand out, how to start a blog, how to do affiliate marketing. So there's a lot, as you can see, that's really important for training to become a life coach, that begins with your skills and your confidence in a session, knowing how to go deep and hold a client through transformation, working with their mind, their health, their relationships, their body, and their soul, and feeling really qualified in all of those areas to take them through all the changes they would need to achieve a goal in a short period of time. On top of the second part of my training is all about prospecting and marketing, which you're gonna need to know for your business. So that brings us to the next question. How long does it take to become a life coach? So I run a 1-year coach training program because I believe it takes about 1 year to get your coaching session skills and your business skills on par to be grounded in a solid business. And like I said, I'm not about putting you in a crowded space like some other coach training programs where you're doing it all on your own, but I really like to have my students and women feel supported. And you can make money in the first few months of becoming a coach if you join the right coach training program that gears you toward that. And it also depends on your desire and your commitment, of course. I have women in my program who are aspiring coaches and who are not quite sure if coaching is exactly what they want to do, but they're ready to take the leap and get started and discover if they have what it takes. And I have women in my program who know coaching is their purpose, may have already tried a training somewhere else and didn't get what they needed out of it, and are really wanting to be held in a high-level, intimate training. And so it depends on your availability, because let's say you're a new mom Maybe you're working a 9-to-5 job and have limited hours, just like a new mom would. Or maybe you're unemployed and fully available all day long to dig into your coaching career. Maybe you have more of a personality that's confident and you'll put yourself out there even if you're not perfect. Or maybe you're a perfectionist and you won't put yourself out there until you feel like you have all the pieces together. So you really have to ask yourself, who am I? And that's why I start Mentor Masterclass with a deep self-discovery process, and why I offer the Self-Discovery Week for free for women who are wanting to discover if coaching is right for them, because you really need to see what is your pace and your schedule. I was making 6 figures within the first 14 months of becoming a coach. I hit my first $100,000 year of revenue, and I had paying clients my first 3 weeks in my coach training program because I was unemployed and I was taking a 6-month coach certification program. I went to 4 conferences in the first 6 months of becoming a coach. I joined a mastermind and went on 3 retreats in the first year. I had no online business skills, no email list, no marketing experience other than in the acting industry, no copyright training, and was, like I said, had a paying client my first 3 weeks in my program, and in the first 14 months of becoming a coach, hit 6 figures. So you really can become a life coach. I would say a solid program, it takes about 6 months of solid training to really get into the skills and techniques and learn the art of coaching, and another 6 months to really learn your business. But that doesn't mean that you're waiting to make money until the end. You can make money very early on while building your business and growing your business. My program personally is 1 year. Most of my students have paying clients by 3 months in the program. Most of my students are making $50,000 to $100,000 by the end of the year. So that brings me to this next question. How much do life coaches make? Our final question in this podcast today. Ever since my coaching practice was featured on the front page of the New York Times, I've been teaching brand new coaches and established coaches the exact same process that I used to quickly become a coach and a feminine leader, to get paying clients within my first week in business, and how I filled my practice to the brim plus a waiting list, all within 14 months of becoming a coach. And in fact, that's how I became known as the coach's coach, and it's the reason that I created my full-length signature program, Mentor Masterclass. And like I said, if you want to enter your name and email over on www.mentormasterclass.com, I'll take you through a full week of self-discovery for free. My trainings are high level and intimate, and this is the only way to work with me for free. I want you to have the experience of what it would be like to start coaching now. So for 1 week, you'll get to try out what it would be like to be a coach and to decide if this career is right for you. But since you're already here, and we're at this final question of how much do coaches make, I'm sure you know that coaching is an exciting topic right now. And the reason for that is because coaching is a quickly growing industry. In fact, it is the second fastest growing industry next to information technology in America right now. And the International Coach Federation did a worldwide study back in 2012, and they discovered that coaching was a $2 billion industry. That's billion with a B. And like I mentioned, that research is from a while ago, and it's just been growing really rapidly ever since 2012. And so what does that mean for you? Why should you care about it being a $2 billion industry? That means on a day-to-day basis, most personal coaches are charging between $100 and $300 an hour. In fact, the average fee for a 1-hour session is $229. And that's back in 2012. I think that's gone up a lot. And what you also want to know is that specialized coaches usually charge $500 an hour or more. And sometimes it's into the thousands depending on the specialty and their client success record. And that's just for the one-on-one personal coaching time that we talked about when you have a one-on-one client. I currently charge $550 for an hour-long one-on-one session. I run a group program that runs from $8,000 to $10,000. I run retreats that are $3,000 for the weekend. And I run workshops. The Coaching Federation also found that most coaches offer at least one other product or service along with their one-on-one sessions, just as I do. Things like group training programs or online programs or products that run evergreen where you don't even have to be live or use your time. You create them once and sell them. And that means that most coaches actually have multiple streams of income in addition to their one-on-one coaching sessions. And another reason why coaching is such an exciting topic right now is because most coaches feel pretty optimistic about coaching and its growth potential. And even though I'm mentioning that this is a fast-growing industry, you're still getting in on it early if you're looking into this now, and there's a lot of potential. It seems like we're just getting started. For example, more and more individuals and businesses are really starting to see the value of coaching and how it can transform people's lives, both personally and professionally. And in fact, that same research also showed that 76% of coaches expect to see growing revenues and a growing client base over the coming years. So in other words, most coaches feel really positive about their decision to become a coach because they expect to see their businesses keep growing into the future as coaching becomes more recognized, a more solid industry. Especially if you have great training, then that really sounds like job security to me, right? And personally, coming from the acting world where I was surrounded by beautiful, talented women who were out of work and undervalued, I appreciate an industry that has a high demand, multiple streams of revenue, and I love knowing that as coaches, we don't have to fit ourselves into another role or into someone else's schedule. You are your brand. There's something unique about you that someone is looking for. And that unique gift paired with high-level coach training is going to create a ripple effect that will change how we live and act in our world. And this is my favorite part because this is what I find really inspiring and what I've discovered about the coaching industry. And it's why I'm really proud to work with women coaches so closely and help them create their brand and their unique coaching business and get high-level training to be solid space holders and really being able to take their clients deep and do beautiful, powerful work. And that's because the fact is most women who enroll in my signature coach training program, they're not just here to make $100,000 a year. They're here for a different reason. They're drawn to coaching because they know they want to make great money and that coaching can provide that, and they want financial security and freedom. But what they're really drawn to the industry for is the fact that they get to have a sense of personal power by being a coach. They get a sense of time freedom and time flexibility and the power to choose who they work with and what they work on while they're being of service in a very soulful way and doing meaningful work that's driven by heart and intuition. If that sounds like you, I want you to know that the other thing that women I work with are looking for is feminine self-rule. Inside my program, Mentor Masterclass, I call it feminine sovereignty or being the sovereign queen of your life. And I know that's not a term that everyone is familiar with because it's a shorthand term that I use inside the program. But really it means getting to the point in your life where you feel really deeply connected to your own trust in yourself to make decisions and lead yourself. You feel connected to your brilliance and to your softness and to your wholeness as a woman. All at the same time, you can think of it like an embodied archetype. This sovereign queen where you live your life and make your choices from this place of feeling strong but vulnerable. And a place of feeling clear and decisive, but also flexible and open to divine inspiration and guidance. And it's a place where you feel a feminine power that's soft and confident and open to new possibilities and new things happening in your life on a daily basis through a career that you love. And it's really a state of being that already exists inside of you. And this is really important for us as women, and we spend a lot of time nurturing this part of ourselves inside the course. And finally, the third most important thing to know about how much life coaches make. that we want to talk about under this topic is that you're also looking for a place for personal growth for yourself, a place where you can feel supported and embraced by other women around you in the industry, an industry that's not competitive, but instead you get to do deep inner work in your life that leads to transformation for yourself and for your clients. And this goes beyond financial rewards. So not only do you make a lot of money as a coach, what you also make is a great life for yourself of freedom and a place where you feel important, to feel seen and accepted wherever you're starting from, with no judgment, instead having love and sisterhood and respect. And for the women I work with, these three things are what coaching is really about: financial success, personal sovereignty and freedom, and making a difference in your lives and in your personal growth. So I know this is a lot to feel into and to think about, because when you really start to tune into the essence of coaching on a deeper level like this, it can be really moving. And so let's just take a breath and settle in and just congratulate yourself for finally taking a moment to be an inquiry around this. This can be a life-changing moment for you, and you should congratulate yourself already, because by taking the time to look at the big picture of coaching, you've learned a few of the more practical day-to-day reasons why coaching is such a great opportunity. And plus, you've had a chance to feel into the deeper, more soulful reasons why coaching is so rewarding and meaningful. So now, beyond just knowing what does a life coach do you need training to become a life coach, how long does it take, and how much do life coaches make, you also know that self-discovery is the key that unlocks the door to using the 4 steps I told you about at the beginning that I want to teach you. I call this 4-step process the RSVP process. I touched on it a little bit on how I coach people in my year-long life coach training program, Mentor Masterclass. And it's such a powerful process that it became the foundation of my signature program, Mentor Masterclass. So I really want to invite you to more of your true divine self and your bigger life purpose. And I want to invite you to not just think about coaching as a potential job, but to respond to this as a potential calling, as your potential purpose. And so that leads us to an action step that you can take today to get started right now. Go over to mentormasterclass.com and plant a seed that you can water and grow and discover really is coaching the right path for you. And to get started on that in a tangible way, go ahead and enter your name and email at mentormasterclass.com. Sign up for the free self-discovery week. I'll send you your first video, and after you click the sign up button, make sure to follow the quick steps to confirm your request. That way you can make sure and get started today. And I'll just close by saying how excited I am for you. Now that we're connected, you don't have to figure everything out on your own, and you don't have to power through everything all alone. And you're about to learn what all the women inside Mentor Masterclass have discovered. To fully understand the power of the RSVP process, you have to experience it for yourself. So go ahead and sign up now at www.mentormasterclass.com. I'll send you your first video for this quick 7-day free training. And I'll also be creating a future podcast series for this episode that helps answer some of your other more specific questions about coaching, so you can listen to those too. Hope you're signed up for my newsletter to receive those at JeannineYoder.com. All of the links for this are in the description of this episode, as well as in the blog on JeannineYoder.com. I hope to go through the self-discovery week with you, and I'll be back with another podcast that answers all your questions and teaches you everything you need to know to get started as a successful life coach today.